This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good afternoon, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for May 31, 2023. And in the news this afternoon, 6 charged for St. Anne murder. 21-year-old Imaro Mackenzie, otherwise called the Six, of Damhead Stairtown in St. Anne, was slapped with several charges, including murder, for an incident dating back to July 2022. In addition to the murder charge, Mackenzie is also facing a possession of a prohibited weapon charge and unauthorized possession of ammunition following the shooting death of 29-year-old Siobhan Jones, otherwise called Ziggy, of Greenwich Acres, Mammy Bay in the parish on July 2, 2022. Reports from the St. Anne's Bay Police are that about 9:30 p.m. on Friday, July 1, Jones was at a shop in the area when he was pounced upon by Mackenzie, who opened the gunfire, hitting him in the upper body. The police were alerted, and Jones was taken to the hospital, where he succumbed to his injuries. Mackenzie was taken into custody and charged after a question and answer interview was conducted in the presence of his attorney on May 17 this year. His court date is being finalized. Customs officer testifies in duo's drug trial. A customs officer gave testimony in the St. James Parish Court on Monday in the ongoing drug trial of 2 St. James residents who were arrested in 2021 for 9 ounces of cocaine. The drugs were seized at a Montego Bay Courier Service Company. Kadisha Johnson of Kemp Shot District in St. James and Calvin Grant, also from St. James, are on trial before presiding parish judge Sasha Marie Smith Ashley for possession, dealing, attempting to export, and a conspiracy to export cocaine. During her testimony on Monday, the customs officer from the Customs Contraband Enforcement Team told the court that on the day in question, she was performing routine examinations on outgoing packages at the courier company when she selected a box addressed to someone in Brampton, Canada, with Johnson as the consigner. The box, she claimed, contained several packages labeled cheese puffs and plantain chips that felt abnormal and was later found to be a white powdery substance that tested positive for cocaine. She further testified that she detained the packages and notified narcotics officers. Subsequently, attorneys at law Charles Sinclair and Henry McCurdy, representing the defendants, proceeded to cross-examine the customs officer. No other witnesses were summoned to the stand, and the case was scheduled for continuation on September 5. The duo's bail were extended. According to reports on February 21, 2021, Johnson went to a courier service company in Montego Bay to send a box to an individual in Canada with several packages labeled cheese puffs and plantain chips. However, when the packages were opened, approximately 9 ounces of cocaine was discovered. After being cautioned, Johnson told the authorities that Grant was the individual who had given her the box to ship. Grant was subsequently arrested. Alleged drug trafficker granted bail. A licensed contract carrier who was reportedly caught transporting 3 pounds of cocaine and 600 pounds of ganja in canned foods was on Monday offered $800,000 bail in the St. Catherine Parish Court. Anthony Murray, a 47-year-old resident of Mandeville, Manchester, was granted bail following a successful application by his attorney Richard Lynch. He is accused of ganja possession, taking steps to export ganja, and trafficking, dealing, and a conspiracy to export marijuana, as well as similar cocaine charges. It is alleged that in April 2023, Murray was driving a Toyota Hiace motor vehicle along P.J. Patterson Highway when he was stopped by the police. The vehicle was searched and several boxes of canned goods were found. On further inspection, the cans were reportedly found to contain ganja and cocaine, with a street value of approximately US $850,000. During the application for bail, Lynch argued that his client was given a job to deliver the goods and was not aware of the contents. Murray is scheduled to next appear before the court on July 6. Police Federation again criticizes compensation review. Chairman of the Police Federation, Corporal Rohan James, is again criticizing the government's compensation review program. Speaking Tuesday at the 80th Annual Conference of the Police Federation in Trelawney, Corporal James reiterated that the police have not received a decent wage deal under the review. Although the island's rank-and-file members voted to accept the wage offer, Corporal James said he had warned them about the anomalies in the deal. We, in our quest, did ourselves an injustice and our family, because as the chairman, I stood and I said to you all as members, let us move strategically to empower ourselves socially and economically and spiritually. But we are not broken because the Minister of Finance and his team have dropped the catch and have thrown the ball right back at us. Notwithstanding, we have signed that contract stipulating terms, conditions as agreed. There are several areas of anomalies that still exist, and the Ministry of Finance has not responded appropriately to the Ministry of National Security, so that the benefits so inked and agreed to in principle should be performed in the contract he outlined. Corporal James made it clear that the Police Federation will be pressing the Ministry of Finance to correct the anomalies in the salaries of rank-and-file members. National Security Minister Dr. Harris Chang, who also spoke at the Tuesday's annual conference of the Jamaica Police Federation, said his ministry will be working with the Ministry of Finance in the coming weeks to correct the anomalies highlighted by the Federation. While sympathetic to the plight of police officers, Dr. Chang noted that the compensation review for the entire public sector was critical. You want a system in place, and we work to put that system in place over time, but we are aware that to convert what was a very confusing and difficult accounting process, there would be some challenges, and that's why the heads of agreement indicate that we have a 6-month period. There is a time period we will look at all the issues, anomalies, corrections, and what is required to ensure that we have a sensible system in place, he declared. At the same time, Corporal James has again urged the authorities to relieve the police of the responsibility of guarding remandees in police lockups across the island. He said many rank-and-file members have been unfairly disciplined for incidents in overcrowded lockups. Administrative negligence should not afford for the police lockups to be overcrowded and for it to be run down in a state and then seek to hold those who have no control over the aesthetics accountable, he argued, adding that many lockups should instead be closed. Corporal James said more remand centers must be built so the police can be relieved of guard duty and deployed on the streets to fight crime. Bail extended for Latvian man and a Jamaican woman on drug charges. The Latvian national and a female security officer, who are before the court in connection with a suspected drug trafficking ring operating from Norman Manley International Airport, had their bail extended until September 15. 30-year-old Richard Oppenix, who is represented by Peter Champagny, had his bail varied, requiring him to report to the police 1 day per week instead of 3. He and his co-accused, the 32-year-old Terrica Millwood, were arrested and charged with a conspiracy to export 4.4 kilograms of cocaine to England. He is also charged with possession of, dealing in, and attempting to export cocaine. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.